somehow, Bubsy returned. And what's even crazier, he somehow made a good game. You don't need me to tell you how much of a disaster Bubsy's career has been. He was created to be a mascot that could stand alongside Mario and Sonic, but instead became the gaming community's biggest punching bag. Bubsy 3D is so bad it can be classified as torture. As for his comeback in 2017, well... But if there's one thing this Bobcat has, it's persistence. No matter how many times he makes a fool of himself, he always gets back up. And now he's back with a new 3D platformer called Bubsy 4D, shocking the entire internet. Not because we were threatened with another Bubsy game, but because it actually looked promising. And what's even crazier is when that demo dropped, people said it wasn't half bad. Combine that with a pretty good marketing push, and it made me want to see what the hell was going on. So I bought it a lot. And well, it's honestly a pretty good game. The premise is pretty simple. Years later, Bubsy is old and washed up, and when the boys return to take the Earth's sheep, he decides he's done making a fool of himself and leaves them be. Sometime later, the sheep, now called the Bots, overthrow the boys and steal the Golden Fleece, with Bubsy's friends and family dragging him back into action. Each level has a Golden Fleece at the end, 150 yarn balls scattered throughout the level, and a blueprint hidden behind the platforming shards that'll test your platforming skills. Although, trying to find out where some of them are can be harder than fighting the One Piece. Visually, this game looks great, and when your last major 3D platformer looked like this, it's honestly nothing short of a miracle. I really love the associated art style, as it gives Bubsy his own aesthetic. The voice cast is also great. They bounce off each other well, and they got a good laugh out of me a few times. What's this? Bubsy is intentionally funny? It truly is the end times. Bubsy's new voice fits him really well, and it's a massive improvement over the cheese-grating ear torture we had before. But if you still have PTSD from the last time you heard him, well, you can always mute him. This game takes a lot of elements from other platformers. Mario Odyssey's free movement, Sonic's sense of speed, and Crash's insane I gotta collect everything mentality. Usually you'd use one of these games as the inspiration when making a platformer since they all set out to do different things. Yet Bubsy decides to take all three, which sounds like a recipe for disaster, yet he somehow made it work. He has a lot of moves which are fun to chain together. He has a triple jump, a pouch to attack enemies, a glide. It can even go fast by turning himself into a big wad of fur with Furbo mode. It's mostly used for getting through the half pipes in this game, but honestly, it's more fun to use it basically anywhere else. It can get you through the levels faster, and you can pull off some pretty cool shortcuts if you're willing to experiment, which is one thing this game excels at. It's really satisfying to chain his moves together to pull off some insane shortcuts. All you gotta do is be confident and be willing to take some risks. You can upgrade Bubsy's movesets with blueprints. Some are pretty disposable, while others make a massive difference. Especially the one that helps you track down collectibles. Without it, you'd lose your sanity trying to 100% this game. There are also costumes you can buy for yarn. They all are pretty funny and have some nice nods. My favorite is the Bubsy 3D one, since when you die it uses the death animations from that game. There's also a good sense of difficulty progression throughout this game as well. Each level has its own identity and tries something different. There's one where you go down a highway, one where you go through a skate park, and my favorite, an anti-gravity level. There's even one that's a throwback to Bubsy 3D that thankfully doesn't make you regret your life choices. There's even some visual storytelling with the Warriors' homeworlds, showing how much the Bots taking over affected them, something I didn't know Bubsy was even capable of. The bosses are also pretty fun. The second one is easily my favorite, while the final one leaves a bit to be desired. But the time trials are where the game truly shines. You can tell the controls were made for this mode. And like I said earlier, you can pull off some crazy stuff if you're willing to take risks. This is easily the best part of the game. You can tell they know what makes a good platformer, and it shows. There's even a super hard level for when you get all the collectibles. There are also different ways to play. There are tank controls which mimic Bubsy 3D, which no sane person should ever use, but I'll give them props for adding this. You can even race against other people with their ghost data, although some of them can get pretty crazy. There's even a hardcore mode. Get hit 9 times and you lose all your progress. Damn, talk about brutal. While this game is good, it isn't perfect. This is still Bubsy we're talking about. Miracles only go so far. Aside from the occasional bugs and glitches, his movement can feel weird at times. You do a tiny jump before dashing, which can throw you off in tight segments, and prepare to overshoot your jumps a lot. as it can be tricky to land him sometimes. His pounce is inconsistent, sometimes it works, sometimes it misses enemies completely. Man, they even copied how inconsistent Sonic's homing dash was in the adventure era. And then there's wall jumping, as whoever thought of this deserves to be in developer jail. I could never get the hang of it, and whenever I did pull it off, it felt like I got lucky. Every single time I thought I finally got the hang of it, the game pulled the wool right out from under me. For the love of God, Bubsy, never attempt wall jumping again. Plus, not all of the ideas work. Ever wanted to trudge through an entire level in gloom? No? Well, too bad you're doing that here. Collecting yarn in the half-pipe section is a pain since their hitboxes are so small. And when you're shooting them through a cannon, you have to overshoot your target like crazy just to land near it. Visually, all the levels look the same. And when they don't stand out, they tend to blur together. I know they take place on pretty much the same planet, but Super Mario Galaxy and Astrobot showed how you can keep the general aesthetic of the level while making it look different. The soundtrack is fine. While it isn't bad in any sense, you'll struggle to remember it when you stop playing. And don't even get me started on the falling animation. Whenever he falls from a great height, there's an animation that plays whenever he lands. And yes, I know it's a reference to the first game, but that still doesn't make it any better. I've heard people compare this game to another game from Brass made, Demon Tides, and one of the main complaints from people that played both is that Bubsy 4D isn't as good as Demon Tides. As from what I heard, they share a lot of the same elements. While I can't make the comparison since I haven't played Demon Tides, I can kind of see where this is coming from. As for the most part, this game feels more like a tech demo. Like the devs are testing the waters and trying to figure out what they can and can't do. It feels like they're too afraid to experiment because of the franchise's history, so they ended up taking elements from their more popular game and played things safe. But here's the crazy part. I wouldn't mind another Bubsy game from this team.
You what?
I know. I'm pushing my luck and might summon an Eldritch Horror that's even worse than Bubsy 3D, but I really mean it, as by the time I completed it, I actually wanted more. If this isn't proof that this tablet isn't messed up, I don't know what is. If they listen to the feedback from this game and refine it, we might be looking at something generally great next time. And from what I heard, they pretty much did it with Demon Tides, which makes me want to try that game out. Bubsy 4D is the best Bubsy game to date, and while that isn't saying much considering his history, I'd call it a win for him. You can beat this game in one sitting, and can complete it if you were to put a little extra time into it, which may be short for some people, but for $20 it isn't a bad offer, as you get spared on worse. Much worse. So where'd I place this game on the tier list? B tier, which for Bubsy is basically S tier. This game is a comeback in the best possible way for the Bobcat, and is something that he should be proud of. But I'm curious, should Bubsy test his luck and make another game? Or should he quit while he's ahead? Let me know down below.